What we're going to do is I'm going to quickly explain something about Genesis. Genesis is a capital market software, and we're focused on low-code application platform. We've been around for over 7 years now. We officially went market to 3.5 years ago, and we're going to demonstrate some of that software to you guys here tonight. In essence, we're going to focus on 4 things. We've got a web UI framework. It's very linked into why we're here today in terms of JavaScript or your web framework of choice. A lot of the things we're going to show you as well is actually we're going to visualize that on OpenFin. We're also going to specifically talk about a type of microservice we have in our application platform, which is a real-time data server, and demo that to you guys. We're going to talk some about our platform tools. We have something called a Genesis Environment Manager that ultimately manages cloud infrastructure. It's agnostic, Amazon, Azure, Google, etc. And then we're also going to talk about our Genesis console platform, which is there as a DevOps solution to actually manage this microservices platform that we have. Everything from login to configuration. So let's talk about the web UI. You guys are probably most interested in this. So we invested a lot over the last 2.5 years into a web UI framework. It's actually a lot of graphical components there. It's got a grid, it's got graph, it does user session management, user permission authentication, how the messages come across the wire, compression of data across the wire, all the way through to user screen layout management. Again, all done low-code, no-code platform tools. If you guys have been to the previous FinJS events in New York and London, you would have seen us demo something called Creative Studio. Creative Studio produces web UIs in no-code or low-code, both single web page applications as well as OpenFin applications. We're specifically going to talk about something called a data server. That data server, we're going to show something which is born into the framework, as well as something which has been specifically built for some solutions. One's a quoting module we have, another one's a position keeping system we have. Once that's configured via this low code, it's automatically available. HTTP, WebSockets, REST, SOAP. Even if you wanted to push data to a database, you don't have to do anything afterwards as a product developer or a solution developer, either our own product developers or our clients. But there's lots of good technology which comes with that. Server-side indexing, server-side filtering, both column permissioning and also row-based permission as well. Moving windows, resilience and failover. So we're going to quickly touch on that also. Timing. We're going to show the actual UI, the actual application with a service monitor there. We're also going to show our console. The console is the thing that is the DevOps platform which manages those microservices. Those are signifying 2 different data servers. One of them is an application, one is a functional. And then we're going to demonstrate our Genesis Environment Manager and also the console, like I mentioned. I'm going to make sure we do this quickly. Okay, so we're going to show this Genesis Environment Manager. What we're looking at right now. So we built a platform, as in I always have to say, you will see on OpenFin. It runs in a single web page application as well. You'll see all of the environments. This specifically, we're looking at Amazon. So why did we build this? One of the challenges we had that our Amazon infrastructure, albeit great and it's in the cloud and it's cheaper than owning our own infrastructure, was costing a lot more money. So what we decided to do was build a platform which managed that infrastructure for us, but also managed like request. Who was working on that DevOps? Who was working on that demo environment? Who has access to production? So we built a platform which allows us to register interests, whether or not you're a production support person, whether or not you're a developer, and all of it's audited. So I can look at any point, any of our infrastructure, whether it's dev, demo, test environments, and see who has an interest on it and who's letting go of that, all audited. I can create schedule events, again, agnostic. It could be Amazon, Azure, Google, etc. And it's a complete infrastructure environment manager. Again, deployed on OpenFin, also available as a single web page application. Also manages things like budget and costs. There's also something, this actual piece is specific to us. We have a version control, so we can actually upgrade versions of our underlying technology platform and or products and or solutions we built for our clients. You can see who done that. You can restore a previous version, make sure there's data consistency regardless of the software version that you're running. So this is the first actual part of our platform we've built, which is not just dependent on our microservices framework technology. We have our own console, which we spoke about. So we're going to initiate a console in that environment right now. This is our DevOps tool. That DevOps tool now, again, no surprises. We're going to show on OpenFin. And we're going to show that there's actually a specific set of microservices. Stop, start, change login levels. Look at the configuration again. You're not having to go to Linux. You're not having to go to Windows and look at those things. We've taken care of the login. We've taken care of how about you do version management. We've got a number of different microservice patterns which are configured via low code or no code to do a certain thing. We're specifically going to show a data server. And we mentioned that earlier. This is, you'll see it's actually configured by XML. It doesn't have to be XML. We have a UI control for this as well. And it's specifically saying, what will this data server do? We have something called all quote requests. It's going to say, hey, here's the metadata. Here's where you can go and get that data. Here's what to publish. As soon as I've built that data server, it's automatically available by WebSockets, HTTP, REST, and other technical communication channels. The console also has a way to look at the underlying data. So even though we use name value in memory pair databases, memory map files, but this tool allows us, regardless of that underlying technology, to look at the table, look at the available fields, look at the keys, and what actually is stored in that table. So I can look at any table within the platform. Genesis Explorer, slightly different. It's going to allow me to look at any microservice. We're going to look at all quote request. All quote request is not just a quote table. It's doing joins. It's looking at counterparty tables. It's looking at instrument tables. It's cross-referencing a variety of tables. Here I can look at all quote requests. It tells me all the metadata that is available for that microservice. It's one of the things we saw in the configuration. What I can do now is I can actually say, let me make a query. I'm going to query that. It's going to tell me that initial latency is 89.16 milliseconds. There's a variety of joins here happening on the back end. There's column-based permissioning, row permissioning. I can actually start saying, well, let me actually do some filters. So this is very much a developer's tool. This developer's tool right now is telling me, I've got a list of microservices. Let me tell everything about that. So I'm not building my UI yet. I've pretty much been able to look at everything that that platform has. I can subscribe. I can unsubscribe. I can do moving windows, I can do reverse views, I can see what I can sort by based on indexes. And what I can also do is actually see the real messages going across the wire. So right now I'm going to subscribe again. I'm going to see my data logon event. I'm going to see my logon ACK. I'm going to see the message that come back across the wire. I can actually see the timestamp, so I know it's working as a high-performance microservice data server. I can see the JSON messages here, nicely visualized. And now, with 1 minute 15 left, I'm going to bring it all together. So what we're going to see now, we're going to quickly show some of the UI web components we have. So you would have seen in the previous Fin.js events, we have lots of different screens here. We have a layout manager. We have free layout. You can save these layouts. They support FTC3 messaging. So if you want to do interoperability across the wire, like many people have spoken to tonight. So I'm going to bring up the internal quoting request grid. I've got my internal distribution grid. Great, I've got grids, free layouts, etc. But now I'm going to bring it together. And what do I see here? I see the console, which is a DevOps tool. And what I see here is the application. And you'll see that there's a second row down, there's AQS data server, is not blinking red. I'm going to stop that, and two things are going to happen. Those grids are going to go, the AQS data server is going to start blinking red, and I'm going to see all of that underlying web infrastructure. So when we talk about 22 seconds, not commented on anyone earlier tonight, the low-code application platform. So what do? I will go over by 10 seconds. So basically, our underlying platform has built all of that infrastructure for you. We spoke about something very specific to do about data servers, but that platform allows you to do what we call a microservices platform as a service. It's low-code and has a number of tooling associated to it, and it also supports OpenFin. Thank you.